RingGangRadio.com. Take over. Last mission. Final boss mode. What it do?
Yeah, what's good, yo? Welcome to another episode of Real Talk, where as always, if shit's real, we talk about it. I'm your host for tonight, Pat Scope, the Northern representative, and as always, I got my man with me. I'm gonna let him introduce himself.
Yo, what it do? Shuttleworth the God, the GOAT artist, LB, Lauderdale boss. You know what it do, man. Florida, up in the building. RingGangRadio.com. Soul Wars in the building. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Ring Gang in the house forever and always. And usually we have our third member, but he will be joining us a little later in the cast, as well as another Ring Gang member. He's on CPT time. You know what I'm saying? So,
we started super throwback for y'all that been rocking with us. So it was just most of the time just me and Pat.
Yeah, word up. And especially on this one particular thing we want to start the podcast off with, man. As we all know, like the finale of The Chi Season 3 happened this past weekend. And it was a culmination of one confusing-ass season. Confusing, was it 2 months, give or take, bruh? Of TV. A show that went from a fairly watchable show and fairly sensible show to some absolute nonsense and plot holes galore. And like I said, this is one of the few TV shows that, yeah, and this is one of the few shows that like me and LB we watched, you know what I'm saying? Because afterwards we talk a whole lot of shit, and we didn't do it as much in the first two seasons because although there were things we didn't like, there were things in that season that we thought that was cool, you know what I'm saying? Because it was flowing. But this season was just a clusterfuck. Fuck with the capital C, and then you capitalize F too because you have to emphasize the word fuck in this situation. I don't know how it got to this point, but we started off with we had basically there were two signs that the season 3 was going to be on some next shit. First of all, I think the main character of the show, the star Jason Mitchell, who played Brandon on the show, unfortunately he got removed because he had some charges allegedly. He got a little touchy-feely with his other co-star, his girlfriend on the show. What's her name? Tiffany Boone. Although they had the chemistry, the chemistry was noticeable in the first two seasons and whatnot. But Jason Mitchell decided, hey, we have chemistry on screen, shit, we can have it off screen too. You know what I mean? So
seconds.
Yes. Yeah, and unfortunately, it ended up in a situation, and then he got removed, and that kind of sucked because his was the main arc, and a lot of the other stories that were going on in Chi, all were, at some point they were related to him in a situation.
Yeah, they kind of ran through him and were intertwined. So,
right. Yeah, and it kind of sucked. And then the second one was when the character who played Reg on the show said he wasn't returning. And rumor had it at the time is the reason why he didn't return was because they were going to give him a transsexual girlfriend, a transgender girlfriend. And then, when me and Elby heard, we were just like, huh? I was like, why would they do that? Like, dude's sexuality on the show was established. Was pretty established in the first couple of seasons. So was that? Agenda, yeah. So honestly, we thought that was maybe some bullshit because you just never know. So, and then I think the third and final sign that something was going was when Lena Waithe, who's the creator of the show, who was the main writer and the showrunner, said, basically this season they were going to, in other words, gay it up. And we were thinking to myself, and I'm thinking to myself, LB thinking to myself, I was like, huh? I was like, what does that mean? Get it up. Now let it be known, we're not homophobes, none of that stuff. Like, we're fans of the Spartacus show, and that show had all types of stuff in there. Timepiece, it's the timepiece, but and that stuff. I mean, there's no few shows that were as graphic with that depiction as Spartacus. But when you already have stories and you have sub-stories and stuff like that are already established, you're wondering what the hell that actually means. So basically, to let you know off rip what it was, in the first episode, basically there was a wedding between two women and everything like that, and it was right, and it's like, oh, okay, maybe that might be it. And then obviously we're like, I mean that's fine, whatever. I mean that wasn't like the issue or the agenda or anything like that. But you notice that at first, like a lot of things that happened in season 2, the continuity, it started rearing its head immediately. What did you think, LB?
Oh yeah, it's just like the plot holes got bigger, and they couldn't without Reg and without Brandon, they ain't have the strong enough writing to like hold a lot of the plot holes and subplots together, so they filled it up with a lot of gay shit, really.
Yeah, that or a lot of nonsense that didn't go anywhere. Or in this case, the characters regressed badly.
Like Emmett's one of them.
Yeah, Emmett, first Emmett was like, at first in the season 2, you're like, oh, he's working with Brandon, they're trying to get this little business going. But when they had the funeral for Brandon, quote unquote, and he was like, oh man, I'm gonna do this business by myself. Then you saw pure regression. You saw basically it was just for the whole season. Dude was just fucking up. He was fucking and fucking up. That's basically all he was doing. And there, dude had no control over nothing. Like he thought he was a hustler, but he really wasn't. And you hate it.
It's like you can tell the show obviously hates black men. Like no nigga on that show could do right. Like Emmett is like the prime example. Like it gets to the point like Ronnie is damn more of an inspiration and hero than Emmett, who's like a 20-year-old.
Yeah, exactly. And speaking of Ronnie, one of the things that we hated in the second season of the Shy was Ronnie's arc, because it wasn't interesting. Like they were drawing it out. It was like he was forever struggling because he was a veteran. He had PTSD. He liked to drink. He had a whole bunch of issues. Was that?
He was an alcoholic.
Yeah, he was an alcoholic for sure. Yeah, he had a whole lot of issues.
Nigga tendencies.
Right, and you were waiting to see like what would be the payoff for this dude. Will he? I mean, at some point they hinted, okay, he'll find like religion, like he'd be like Muslim, because Common's character was on there, and Common wasn't even used all that much. I mean, like he was advertised when the show started, and he was only like maybe on a couple episodes. But it seemed like okay, he was gonna find Allah. He was gonna get right with himself. He was dating, all that stuff. And then in season 3, you find out he's a whole bum, like he's a legitimate bum pushing a cart. I was like, and the worst thing is too is like they still dragged his arc out more, like.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie, that shit was annoying.
They showed him eating from the garbage and everything like that. I was just like,
and you still had that lady at the damn recycle center that was.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that lady still wanted to hit. Still wanted him to hit. I was like, yo, this is savage, yo.
He kept throwing it at him. I'm like, yo, man, like, and he turning it down. It's like, how was that for your self-esteem if a bum turning you down?
You know what I'm saying? Like, it was his arc was just like it was just making like no sense. Pretty much I think the most noteworthy thing about his arc was his grandmother. Now, in his grandmother, unfortunately was a victim of a vicious attack. But in season 3, I mean, she had all her faculties intact. But in season 3, she was she was kind of mentally slipping a little bit.
A lot of it, nigga.
Yeah, a lot of it.
Already put back as a background character.
Yep.
Which was cool because we didn't really bring that to the table. So it's like next, but it's like they replaced her with Tiffany.
Yeah.
I said, we could get someone younger, hotter. Yeah, that could work.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know. And then, speaking of the agenda, I think the biggest thing, now, as we mentioned before, with Reg being, leaving the show, basically we got a new arc. Now, unless I'm slipping, there was never between Reg and, of course, his younger brother Jake, who's one of the child actors on the show. There was never, unless I'm tripping, I don't think there was ever a mention of another brother. I mean, LB, do you remember anything like that?
Nah, these niggas just pulled that out the air. Like, hold on, he got a older brother.
Yeah, it's like all of a sudden, dude comes like, I ran away. Like, I mean, didn't say if he was like, I mean, I think he meant he might think he was in prison or something like that. But he just came out of nowhere. It's like, yeah, I'm here to reclaim Jake. That's my blood. And I'm thinking to myself, what? It's like,
now instead of just having this nigga come from out of nowhere or some like, I'm here trying to redo, do better in life, atone for my sins and, take care of my baby brother type shit. They could just make him a regular nigga. What they do? This nigga get a damn transvestite girlfriend.
Yeah, that's nothing. Like, it's nothing that, Trigger's coming out there. I was like, okay, you suspend belief, but dude came up with a whole new character out of nowhere, the transgender girlfriend, and I'm like, oh, okay. Now, at first it wasn't really known. Like, first it was just like, who is that? Like, and then, slowly there were some signs that it was just like, and then it really delved into that, and I was like, and that's where pretty much I think Lena was like, yeah, that's where I get off of. So I'm like, so already, and like her backstory was not even established. The transgender girlfriend, like all from the show is that she was.
She's gangster though, cause she he whatever the fuck you know what I mean.
You know what I'm saying? It was just like
it's packing guns and shit. Just like cause my father tried to kill me, and so I killed my father. They kept damn emphasizing that damn bullshit ass story, origin story.
Right. And I'm like, and this is I guess this is where the negativity came on, because I think because I mean, as we all know, I mean, a lot of transgenders do have some stories, of that nature, and I know that's probably one of the biggest ones regarding transgender people and why they get kicked out of houses and homes or have incidents with their families. So I guess Lena's like, you know what, I'm gonna make it a strong point. I'm gonna repeat it all through these episodes, and I'm gonna be like, that's how it's going to go. Yeah, and then with that character, with the addition of Trig or whatever, I mean, you get the awkward ass reunion with Jake, and you got and then afterwards you got a couple episodes where dude was not comfortable with his sexuality, particularly that bar scene, which I'm just like, what does this have to do with anything that has to do with anything? Like honestly, if there was ever a filler episode, like a real, it was that episode.
See, that's the thing, like that. That's how they rope you in, like they keep it balanced. Like they give you eye candy for what they like think niggas want and shit, and then they give you their agenda right along with it, and then it's like they hitting you over the head with it. Like that whole club scene was just on some like weird, unnecessary shit.
Yeah, it was like it didn't lead nowhere. It was just like dude has some issues. He still has issues about it. And then sees his transgender girlfriend as a girl. And I'm just like, that's nice. You know what I'm saying? You know, but they wasted a whole episode on that. And on top of that, it didn't really go anywhere, like I said, to push any of the other stories that were going around, the other sub-stories. It was just conflict. Because they were trying to build a new character and they were trying to build him. And they, you know, they added that to the episode, man. So, yeah, that was just like one example of like the writing just going off the walls. It was just more shock value to the viewers than anything, than pushing an actual story or storyline. And then the kids themselves, the little fat one, though.
Oh man, King Sim. Oh, not the Ruben studded ass nigga. Nah.
Yeah, like dude went from being like preach from Menace to Society type character to being King Simp. Like, it's like this, like, this is my queens. And then on top of that, all of a sudden, like he's cupcaking the chick that Kevin had
he always does all the right things. Like they make him perfectly able to like translate simp gestures into the game.
Yeah, and I'm just like, and he got worse. Like his character progression kind of like stalled until like maybe like the last couple of episodes in the season.
No, that shit been done. Like they just kept going down that lane and just, it's like a boxer relying on the same punch over and over. And
yeah,
even though it's missing, he's like still trying it. Like that sim shit wasn't working, but they just forced it on it.
Right, because I think because they want to do something with those kids, and then Jake, like I said, Jake all of a sudden, in season 2, his brother, Reg was killed, or no, wasn't killed. Excuse me, he was shot up. They never revealed, In fact, I don't think they still revealed whether or not he actually died in season 3.
Yeah, they did. They said, they had said he died in season 3. They already said that.
Oh, I thought they didn't, but yeah, in that case, and then all of a sudden, like, he's living with Duda, crime boss and everything like that, which, it's kind of messed up, in like considering the fact that Duda was behind Reg being shot up. So all of a sudden, he's living in the house, he's going to private school, he's not going to public school or anything like that, and it's just like, this is that's the beginning of his arc on there. I mean, the kids were different. Like, Kevin was out there on some, he was getting bold. Like he was cussing out his moms, the second lesbian mom.
Was freaking, bro.
Yeah, like his,
like the mom became like the most annoyingest fucking character, like up there with Ronnie, like.
Yeah, like everything about it was like negative, like super negative.
It's like, and the whole like. These niggas out here cupcaking with trannies and kissing them, like they had so many scenes that were just cringeworthy. Like, I'm like, damn, man. Like, okay, we get it. Like, that shit was annoying, bro.
Yeah, and then I think the biggest arc of the TV show was the abduction of the sister on there. Like, 1 minute she was at the bus stop, and next minute, she was like, "Where did she go?" Yeah, it's like, where did she go? Where did she go to? And then and they drew that out longer than they probably should have.
And it's like, so they could wrap it up in like 2 episodes at the end of the season, like that's
right.
Did, like,
and and that arc got more and more cringeworthy too, especially when you found out, like, it was like, first of all, I mean, when you found out who kidnapped her, and basically he made one appearance at the pizza shop. He said something real slick and whatnot, and then all of a sudden, bam, she's in somebody's basement, and on some
smashing and like combing her hair and doing all types of weirdo shit. Like, she got to use the restroom, and he's like videotaping her, and she's like staring at him and making eye contact. Like, it's like they doing so much extra weird shit, dog. Like,
Yeah, though. It was just like, I mean, dude was like James Gum from Silence of the Lambs. You know what I'm saying? That's what you know what I'm saying. Like, you know, it was crazy. And then the worst part though is when she does escape. She escapes the first time, right? And then she's on the ground. She's like, oh.
but this is the thing. It's like she's supposed to be a track star. It's like soon as she break free, like she run outside 5 feet in front of the door and breaks down and says yes, yes, and then it's like the nigga come in and grab her.
Yeah, like I mean, she wasn't malnourished. I mean, she was fed. Like she had energy to run. So I don't understand why she was just standing there and it's like, okay, you know, and then crying and drags her ass back, and then he threatens her some more and cuts her hair some more, you know, and it's like, you know, letting her call her brother from a block number. It was a whole bunch of incel shit that was just, and then told that story, that wild ass story, bruh, you know. That story where he kind of explained why he did it, dog. That was legitimately disturbing. I was like, Lena is tripping doing this.
That's what I'm saying. They kept like making black men so fucking horrible in that shit.
Yeah.
Like every black man character was just like awful. Like this was like some Tyler Perry shit on steroids.
Yeah. I think the only the black character on the show that actually was doing well for himself was Brandon's cousin, because he started that weed dispensary business or whatever. Like he was the only he was the only one that got a legit come up.
They only featured him twice. Like
you know what I'm saying?
Nah, we gotta keep him away. Like he's a successful young businessman. Like no. Can't have him featured on the show too much.
Hell no, you know what I'm saying? Like that's too positive, man. We got, you know, we got to push some agendas here.
Duda's the only other nigga that was positive. I mean, G Herbo made an appearance. I mean, like, does that count?
Oh man, it was just out there. And then of course, you know, Lala found her way from Power to this show as a cook. Like, really? Like, did she really need to be in there? I mean, granted, I'm not saying she was a little eye candy because, you know, I mean, she got a little work done, you know. But it's hard to believe, you know, someone who used to be like, it's Lala, you know, is, you know, doing these type of like roles and shows now, man. She was low key annoying, you know, because her ass couldn't act, neither could Candy Burris, you know. And that in her role, like that shit came out of nowhere. I was like, where did she come from? Like her origin was like,
just kept popping niggas up, like
like she was.
Every time you turn around, somebody was just popping up on some, like, okay,
I'm Duda's wife. Like, okay, and then she proceeds to have episodes of bad acting.
So when you look at all of that, like, instead of tying up storylines because of 2 characters missing, you had them just add in a whole bunch of other people that didn't really progress the story and make it better. And that's like one of the persistent problems you had in that show.
From every episode, it was like new nonsense. And I think probably the only storyline they really tied up was Emmett finally marrying his girlfriend in the end, or proposing and marrying.
Yeah, only after he smashed Lala, so it's like...
Yeah. Oh, man, and then...
And the way they kept doing it, I kept thinking the mom was gonna fucking rat this nigga out.
Mm-hmm.
That was the only suspense in that whole story, like...
And real talk, she was the only...
mom seemed like a fucking hater.
But her mom, the mom's, though, was the one I was just like, oh, I'm not gonna lie to you, she was one of the few things in that show in that season that I actually liked. Yeah, she had my nose wide open, bruh. You know, because, you know, she had some scenes, boy. I was just like, you know, when she was messing around she was messing around with the young cat, you know, that was giving her, you know, that was giving her the massage and shit with the happy ending.
That shit was crazy.
Yeah, I'm over here thinking like, I'm over here glued to the screen just watching. I had that gaze going, like, I was like, damn, you know, she's triggering my mature woman thing. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. No, she was the only thing. She was one of the few things I loved about that.
That's what I'm saying. Like, they'll shove that at you like, okay, like here, take this, and then next thing you know, it's like this nigga turning down a fucking, you know, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, it's
they'll go back to Trig and his friend.
His wife, and then wife, but they weren't married or anything like that. And then of course they got to the situation, and then as they got into the season near the end, of course, Trig got custody of his brother, and then they're like, it'd be one big happy family, and then Jake decided, became super woke when because this is one thing that wasn't really mentioned until the final episode was like, do they know that Trig's girlfriend is biologically a male? Like, that was the thing, like, and me and LB went back and forth about this, because like, is anyone gonna say that on the show? Or is Lena really gonna like be like,
okay, I think it's just gonna ignore that shit. Like, this is the thing, like, they in the Chicago hood, like, these niggas is like straight gangsters and shit, like, running around, you know how it is,
right?
They not fucking like niggas ain't stupid, and it's like, to have that just kind of float about for so long with nobody saying anything about it until like the last episode just was like just unreal.
Yeah, no, that's not real at all, especially when they had so many scenes together.
Yeah, it's just overlooking, and once he explained and answered it, it was just like, damn, that nigga, he go to this little prep school for like 2 years, and it's like he just, oh yeah, no, nothing's wrong with it. Okay, like, like this show, just the agenda was so hard, and then another, cause Lena put herself in the show, and it's like,
yes,
why?
yeah, Lena, like, Lena, yes, although this season might actually be I wouldn't say atrocity.
She had these monologues, and it would just be awful. Like, she's basically reading off a script with bad acting and just saying some think piece shit that you would see on one of these damn bullshit ass blogs.
Dog, like, that's the season, the scene where her and Candy Burst were in that mayor's office talking and trading lines. Oh man, I was just like, I think I muted my TV because I was
bad acting, like, niggas are just going
horrible
out
acting.
Bad acting.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know. I was like, I don't know what guy. I was like, I don't know who told Lena that she could be acting like this. She can be in more than one episode. Yes, you write the stuff, but that doesn't mean you can act. There are people who went to acting school that can do this. Or people who are more natural with it. Like, no.
Man, why you trying to take 2 jobs? Like, you already producer, director, all that shit. Like damn, you gotta throw your ass acting in that shit. Like, stop.
Yeah, no.
Stop it, 5.
Oh man, so yeah, that's what I was saying. Like, this whole season was just.
Well, nah, we can't forget about Duda, who go from Ghost to damn Theo or Cleo Huxtable. Like he go to the, like, 80s sitcom dad to, like, fucking Marlo.
Yeah, basically, I think he only has one episode where he does some actual gangster shit, and then after that,
he stomped that kid out.
Yeah, exactly. And in season 2, Drew was cold-blooded, his character, although he did kind of redeem himself somewhat near the end of the season, because basically, season 3 did not wrap up everything. Duda and Trig had,
Dude, that wrapped up perfectly, bro. Think about it, like, this how corny the show is. Like, you really had, like, some big ass gangster nigga become mayor, and it's like his biggest win is him controlling 2 little hood niggas in Chicago. Like, bro, really? Like,
and then talk about
basically how they made it.
Yeah, it's funny too, because it's like, yeah, check this out, man. I'll pay for Jake to be in your private school and I'll pay for private all that, a prep school or whatever. But you're gonna work for me now. You know what I'm saying? My head of security is gonna be police chief. I'm replacing him. I was like, dog, is that even believable?
They just do all this shit. Like, they just gave this nigga superpowers.
Yeah.
Yo, once you become mayor in Chicago, it's like you just do anything. Like, niggas is like, alright, so I'm gonna let my homeboy be police chief officer.
Yeah.
This nigga gonna be him. Like, okay.
Yeah, he's got to ignore. Basically, you do anything, you get caught. It's gonna happen to you, and you just keep doing it. I'm just like, and that's not believable. That's not even halfway believable like that. Like, yeah. I mean, like I said, it's a cliffhanger because, like I said, obviously you can build on it, but it's.
Nah, I don't even want to see what happened after that, bro. Like that's it. Like I don't even care. Like what makes these two niggas from the hood special? Where a mayor / drug kingpin is like so interested in them.
Well, because he killed their brother. That's pretty much the whole reason why.
Nigga, that ain't a big enough reason.
I mean, it doesn't. I mean, yeah, it doesn't.
Just remember, like, he killed their brother. It's not like they killed his brother.
Right. Oh man, yeah.
Like, how many niggas like they kill somebody's brother? Then it's like, how about I can get that nigga a job?
You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, I would think like and first thing is he tried to kill Trig plenty of times in that during the season. And I'm saying it's like, yeah, I'm gonna give you a job. I'm just like, okay, you tried to kill him, and then you want to pay him, and you want to do it just so you can keep Jake in prep school.
Can't beat him, join him, my nigga. Like, that's one story of that. If you a boss and you can't beat your nigga in the streets, like, just pay for him, and have him join you.
Pretty much.
Listen, man, I can make you the best employee in the world. Why are you fighting against me for, man? Damn, but see, that shit ain't work on the wire.
Hell nah. You know what I'm saying? And funny things too is I think they probably did reuse that plot.
They reused a lot of shit, just like when Reg got hit, they replayed the whole that scene with Snoop.
Mm-hmm.
When she had first got on, like on the motorbikes. So
yeah.
The last thing I want to touch on is just the whole beating us over the head with Ronnie.
Yeah. Yeah, Ronnie was because Ronnie would turn out to be the catalyst to the sister actually getting found, because he heard something, and then
how you get rescued and then how you rescue someone and then get rescued. like he ran in there and helped her, and it's like then he get his ass whooped, then she gotta help dude and kill him, like
right.
Like they couldn't have a black man win anything in that shit.
Right, and then of course with his end too, like his arc came to an end, like in the next last episode, where they're like, okay, he got all his money, he was like, well, I'm gonna start over new, and then at the restaurant he's walking with not his daughter or whatever, his baby mom's, I think, and then bam, he gets eliminated.
Just a chick he was smashing who he was just a single mom he was smashing whose son died.
Yeah. Yeah. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
His
grandmother told him to stay away from her.
That's probably the one arc that actually probably did tie back into the previous seasons too. Imagine that.
Yeah, that nigga got murked. But this is the thing, how it's like they try to foreshadow in the episode. Because, there's somebody like, man, he's still a murderer. They try to foreshadow it earlier in the season where they jump Ronnie. But it's like, there's so much time transpired, and it's like, who was really riding for Coogee? Someone who died in the first episode 3 seasons ago, where somebody, this nigga Ronnie's out on the streets this amount of time. and then no one touches him, and this one kid just, has it in him. It's like he's the fucking Punisher or something. Like,
Right.
he gotta seek vengeance, even though that nigga Ronnie already been shot and beat up over this shit. Like, I mean,
right.
no, this nigga just has to murder this dude. So, and they forced that on us, and it's like after they had this whole redemption character arc where you finally like, okay, all right, I guess he's not that bad.
Yeah,
Because the real flaw, like the real fuckery is the damn Ronnie's homeboys.
Yeah.
The niggas like, what sorry ass nigga hang with Ronnie like that?
Yeah, no, like, I mean, they knew he was a bum. Like, they couldn't lift that man up. You know what I'm saying? It's just like they was like, we'll see you when we see you, Ronnie. That type of
They just hang around this nigga to drink. But yo, they be bailing him out. They be, looking after him and shit. And then he invite him to like the homeless shelter place, and this nigga Ronnie, the most popular homeless nigga, like bruh, like they just doing some like crazy shit. Like, like real talk. Like I wouldn't recommend anybody watching this shit. It's a waste of fucking time. But if you've seen it already, you just gonna, you started just hate watching it because it was more fun to just make fun of this shit than, really just try to enjoy and piece this shit together. Like,
Yeah, like there was not one episode me and LB enjoy. Like, we'd watch this shit and then I'd be texting this nigga like my complaints about this show and vice versa, man. It was
show had like no redeeming qualities. Like,
right.
If you want a good urban crime drama that's not on no bullshit where niggas is putting an agenda in your face every 10 minutes or 5 minutes, really, like it's ridiculous.
Right.
And I don't even want to get into Andre character, how they try to damn keep, having her such a factor.
Yeah.
It just, I'm just kind of done talking about this shit. Like, I'm just disgusted by this whole show.
Yeah.
Like, I'm glad it's the last season and they tried to wrap shit up the best they could because the writing was horrible. You got a chick getting pregnant and she get a rape kit that don't have no fucking pregnancy test. But,
yeah, that was another plot hole. That was like,
yeah, but she's clean of diseases. But I guess this damn, weirdo nigga never got no other type of pussy before, so I mean he wouldn't have no disease or nothing. So I mean, the shit was like trash, bro.
It was trash. Like, the whole season. Like I said, we hate what. Like I said, we watched it because we were invested in the show from the first 2 seasons.
You just want to see how trash play out.
Yeah, and it's big trash. Like, it didn't just jump the shark.
So, if you need something else to watch, you got the Gomorrah series, you got The Wire, Sopranos, you got shit, you can fuck with Top Boy, but
yeah, or even now, like, there's another show on HBO called Lovecraft Country. If you want to see some real creative writing, you mix them with some, that stuff that relates to modern times too, with some horror elements mixed in. That's your show. You know what I'm saying? Get invested in that one. But yeah, season 3 of A Shy was a failure. Lena should be ashamed of herself.
Yeah, epic fail. Like,
yeah.
Like, I'm tired of having women like make the damn be so in control of these damn hood shows, like these street dramas. Like, it's a big fucking soap opera. Like, there's no underlining, theme or gems being dropped. It's just, I'm just disgusted, man. Like, let's I'm done. Like,
yeah, we're done. Like, this season gets a 0 out of 10. I'm pretty sure that LB agrees with me.
Word.
Yeah, So yeah, shame on you, Showtime. Shame on you, Wave. Shame on you, all the actors that went along with this nonsense. Shame on us for actually watching this, for making us watch it because we were so invested in this. Fuck all of y'all. So yeah. Shy season 3. Next.